Hey everyone, and welcome to another Gear Reviews with Ryan. I'm Ryan, this is my gear, roll the intro. So today I've brought with me a little firecracker. This is the Dowina Sol Bona Vida. Dowina's the brand, Sol is the model, and Bona Vida is the body shape. So this is part of their Pantheon series. And the Pantheon series is all handmade in Slovakia, and it's all solid wood, sustainably sourced woods as well. And it's just absolutely lovely, especially for the price. You really can't go wrong. So let's move on to the pros.
The pros.
The pros on this guitar. Let's start off at the top. You have a lovely set of machine heads, a really nice elegant headstock shape. The nuts are actually shaped into the neck, so the neck profile is just super nice. Nice and a little bit wider than your average, but it really does hug the hand, and that nut just feels beautiful in there. So absolutely lovely feature. They have all the affections, I think is the word, is made from wood, so they don't put any plastics whatsoever in these guitars. Even the side dots on the side of the neck, they're little bits of hardwood. The flame maple binding is absolutely gorgeous, and you have ebony, maple ebony purfling along the top, and even the rosette is all made out of hardwoods, so it's absolutely gorgeous. The fingerboards are made from a figured ebony, and you might see a little bit of graining in there. It's not completely jet black. That's the true ebony, how ebony is. You very, very rarely get black ebony these days. Those trees are very old trees if they're jet black. And most of the stuff that we cut down does have a bit of kind of like rosewoody coloured graining in it. I personally actually really like it. I think it gives it a bit more character. And it's still very high quality ebony, so don't be fazed by that whatsoever. Most of that type of ebony will get discarded by people like Martin and Taylor, so it's great that a company like Dowina is picking up those bits and using them, because otherwise, you know, they might get used in like the jewelry industry or something like that, but a lot of the time they just get wasted and burnt, which is a real shame. We don't want to be cutting down trees, especially hardwood trees, just to burn it. It has a gorgeous Swiss spruce top. This one, you can get a choice in tops. This one's got a little bit of clawing in it. It's not a bare claw spruce, but it's got a lovely little bit of figuring. And check out the walnut back and sides on it. Car, I've not seen a matched back made out of walnut quite that stunning in a long time. So great work, Dowina, on that. The nut and saddle, as I mentioned, is made from bone. The bridge pins are ebony. They're all made in-house, so it's not batch parts. They're made specific for the guitars. The bridge itself is also made from ebony, and you do get 12 fret features. These are abalone diamonds, but the rest of the neck doesn't have inlays on. I personally think that's very, very elegant and stops you from looking down at the neck as you're playing, so keeps your posture good. So now we've heard about the pros, let's move on to the cons.
The cons.
Okay, so the cons on these guitars. First of all, the major thing on the Bona Vida side is that they don't come with cases. It's a little tricky to find cases. We have found some that fit them, but they're not always in stock because they're slightly unusual size cases, so they're not a standard case. That is a bit annoying. Is probably the biggest con on this instrument. But other than that, it's very hard to find cons on them. What I will say is that it's got a beautiful open pore finish. I love that because the wood can breathe and it can age properly. However, if you live in a building that gets hot one moment, cold the next moment, or is dry one moment and damp the next, then maybe have a think before you go for an open pore finish. I know it's beautiful, but especially when it's solid wood, these are really going to change with the atmosphere. So just be wary of that especially if you're living by the ocean or something like that. I had a customer who bought one of these. He lived in a caravan by the ocean. Oh, absolute nightmare. Once it had settled in, it was all right, but it took about a year of us constantly maintaining the setup and maintaining it before it had gotten used to the atmosphere. So just be wary of that, please. Other than that, there's very few cons. The scratch plate on them is basically as thin as tape. They're super, super thin, so the top can vibrate, but they do have a slight textured finish. This is obviously to help protect the instrument when you use a pick. However, if you drag your fingers over it, put it up to the mic. Hope you can hear that. It does have a bit of sound to it. So if it's a regular, flat plastic pickguard, they're a lot thicker. They do kind of stop the top from moving so much, but you don't get that sound with them. Some people I've seen has taken them off successfully. I do recommend taking them to your nearest retailer if you want them removed. But it's just a bit marmitey. Other than that, it's basically a parlour-sized body. The neck joins at the 12th fret, which means the bridge is down at the widest part of the bottom bout. Gives a nice punchy mid-range tone, but if you're looking for something with a lot of bass response and a lot of kind of depth to it, then have a little look at the other body sizes, like the Grand Auditorium, slightly larger. They've got way more depth to the sound. So because of the mid-range punch, it makes these guitars exceptional finger pickers, exceptional for melodies and like lead licks, anything like that. It's really, really good for. If you want something that's just super wholesome and nice to play, then maybe have a look at their larger bodies. So with that being said, let's move on to how it sounds. Okay, so I've got the guitar mic all set up, and now onto the sound sample of the Bona Vidas. So that was the Bona Vida Sol parlour guitar. Thank you for watching another episode. Like and subscribe if you like this content, and we'll see you on the next one.